What happens when you change the aperture of the lens? That's the question we're going to try to answer in this video. So say you have a regular lens, so maybe a convex lens, like the one in your eye, and you have parallel rays of light that come in. Well, we know that parallel rays of light always converge at the focus. So they'll converge at the focus, and they'll create the image. So in red right here, this is where we're going to see the image. It's actually going to be at the focus in this case. But the idea is that we see an image. But now the question is, if we cover part of the lens, what's going to happen? So first, maybe take a second to write down your prediction of what you think will happen. Once you do that, I'll tell you that my prediction was that you'd only see half of the image, but we're going to show you now that this is actually not true. So in a case where you cover half the lens, then we'll have our same lens, but in this case, we've blotted out the entire top half. So when we have the same rays of light coming through, they're also parallel in this case. We can say they don't have to be, but let's say they are. Then they'll want to converge and form the image, and so they'll do the same thing. Here's our focus. Except because this entire top half of the lens is covered, all of the rays that hit that portion of the lens can't actually converge. So we would want to see it converging like this, but it won't actually be able to because that part of the lens is almost deactivated per se. So all of the rays we're going to see are going to be coming from this portion of the lens. And so what we see is that we're still in fact going to see an image. The image will still be there. But what's going to happen is that the image is not going to be as bright, because we can say that the brightness is a function, or is proportional to, the number of rays that are intersecting. And so because we have fewer rays intersecting in the image where half the lens is covered than in the regular setup, we see that we're going to have an image that is just not as bright in the first place. The focus of the image, this is really critical, however, is not going to be any different because the focus is defined as the point of the convergence of the rays. So they're still converging at the same exact point. We're not going to see a fuzzy image. It's going to be a focused image, but it's just going to be not as bright because we have fewer rays that are intersecting. So that's what happens when you change the aperture of the lens. You're not going to see only half the image. You're just going to see an image that's less bright.